co-founder of Moms for Liberty. For those of you, again, who may not know me, Tiffany Justice, co-founder of Moms for Liberty. Moms for Liberty is a nonprofit grassroots organization started in January of 2021. And since that point, we have grown and grown 250 chapters in 42 states with over 100,000 members. So here is Tina. I'm going to add Tina to the stream. There she is. She looks beautiful. Hello, Tina. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous. I'm here at Governor Ron DeSantis, America's governor, the parents' governor. I am at his win party tonight in Tampa, and it is electrifying.
Is it? So I just saw some Charlie Crist coverage of his party tonight. It looked a little quiet. The polls are closing. The polls are closed now in Florida. So what is the energy like? How are people feeling about the governor's race and some of the other races across Florida? I know you might have some updates for us on some Florida school board races.
Yeah, they have the news up on the big screens in the ballroom just behind me, and so we're following a lot of it closely. They just reported that it looks like conservatives took Miami-Dade. I mean, it's not final, but the early numbers coming in. So I think you can hear the crowd going wild in there right now. I'm not sure what is happening, but maybe they're announcing Governor DeSantis.
Oh, go! I want you to go.
People are starting to run.
So we have a lot of people to talk to tonight. I'm just excited that you're there. I'm super excited to see some of the wins. Al Hernandez in Pasco County, Timothy Masher in Collier County, Jackie Rosario in Indian River County. That's my home county. I'm so excited. Yay. Hey, what a good night. What a good night for us to see a pro-parental rights candidate win for Indian River County School Board. That's exciting. That just made my night. All right, go have fun and report back if you have anything exciting to tell us, okay?
I will. Good luck tonight.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Now we're going to bring in Jennifer McWilliams. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm good, Tiffany. How are you? It's a big day.
Yeah, it's a great day. It's a great day. So Jennifer McWilliams is the resource director for Moms for Liberty. She just joined us recently. She's been working on a lot of important issues with our chapters. And so, Jennifer, I just want to ask you, I know you've been working with a lot of our chapters over the past couple weeks. What is the feel for them? What was election night? What is today? What do the midterms mean to them right now in their lives and their lives with their families?
Sure. The last couple of years, so much has been exposed about what has been going on in the schools to their children. And, I think they are finding out right now that they picked the wrong fight, because we have parents and specifically mothers all across this country coming out and saying, you do not have the right to teach my children this ideology, their values, morals, attitudes, and beliefs. And I think we're going to send a huge message to them today over that. And, working with the groups, it has been amazing. And they're excited. They're hopeful because they've worked very hard to expose what's happening in the school. And this is the first step. We will, this is the first step, and we will continue to fight this, but the groups and the parents are excited to start seeing the results of all of this work.
So Jennifer, you've got 270 candidates for Moms for Liberty endorsed on ballots. Right now, today, they were on ballots across the country. We've supported at Moms for Liberty over 500 candidates that support parental rights. So when you have these, and we only endorse in school board races. So if you're new to Moms for Liberty, you're learning a little bit about us. We endorse in school board races. We feel like those people make such important decisions for you and your family. And during COVID, we directly saw that. So Jennifer, a message to the school board candidates that are winning tonight. What are some of the issues that should be on their radar? What are some of the issues that parents should be bringing to school board members as they're getting elected?
Sure. So, one of the things that I talk about often is what's called social emotional learning. But really, it was just the systemic change that has happened in education over the last few years. And the way that the system has changed has put the power of the schools, the administrators, the teachers to really undermine parents. And so I think the school board members that are winning tonight, of course, it's amazing. Thank you for standing up. But, it doesn't just stop with with the win. And, I know Tiffany and Moms for Liberty, and there's so many resources out there to help you understand exactly what's going on once you get into that position, so that we can help educate you on where you need to look. And, because I think for a long time, a lot of this went under the radar because they are not obviously clear about their agenda, but a lot of the things that they say are confusing to people. It sounds like nice things that they're trying to do, but there's a whole other agenda to it. And so I hope people that win their office tonight, continue to educate themselves, reach out to these groups, because as we coalesce together, we will be much more powerful.
Absolutely. And I think that, the mission of Moms for Liberty is unify, educate, and empower parents to defend and protect their parental rights at all levels of government. And we know that we're doing that, and we're fighting for the survival of America. Because, Jennifer, if you don't have the right to direct the upbringing of your child, if the state thinks that they know better than the parent, what do we have as far as our rights in America, right? I mean, honestly,
right. Well, the Constitution says that, but it is also your God-given right to raise your children. And, at some point, they often talk about they want to dismantle the systems, but what they're about to find out is we're going to dismantle the system that they've been building, and we're taking it back.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much. And so, school board members, if you're getting elected tonight, if you're watching this, parents, if you're watching us right now, you need to be asking hard questions. How is the money being spent in your district? What does the data tell you? Jennifer's going to be working with our chapters to help them to understand what the data in their district means as far as student achievement is concerned, and the investment that you as taxpayers are making in a system that is failing students. And the teachers unions have been in charge for way too long. I'm watching these election results roll in, and I know that we're going to have candidates, not just on school board, but at every level of government, that are tired of the excuses that the teachers unions are dishing out. Jennifer, what are some of the excuses, before we let you go, what are some of the excuses that are used by the teachers unions for educational failure, and how can we just kind of call some of those excuses out?
Well, they say that one of the things that they talk about is the mental health of children, but they're bringing in so much into the schools that is causing so much confusion for these children, and it's really a situation where they're causing a lot of this disconnect for children from their families. They also mostly they will say that parents are too busy to teach their children, and so the school needs to do it for them. And today we're going to reject that because it is not true.
Yeah, we are. We're going to reject it all across the country, and I think that's what you're seeing. I'm hearing that Marco Rubio has won. It looks like Miami is going well for Ron DeSantis. I think we were hopeful that Ron DeSantis would win governor of Florida. It looks like that is the case here. And so we're just super excited. So Jennifer, thank you for joining us. We're going to go to Scarlett next from Wisconsin. So here we go, Scarlett. Hey, Scarlett Johnson. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. This is a happy day for me. I think it's a red tidal wave. It's a tsunami. I think that this is 2 years in the making. 2 years of all the work that so many of us have been doing, fighting. At first we came to our school boards and we thought, oh, they're going to listen to us. They're going to be happy to see us, because they were always happy to see us when we were in the PTO boards, and we were when I was in the lunchrooms and on the playgrounds and helping with fundraising and all the things that I did. They'll be happy to see me. Well, it turns out they weren't, because unfortunately education has been taken over by an ideology and a political party. And the message is being sent today from parents all across this country. We don't want politics in our classrooms anymore. We don't want politics in education anymore. We want you to educate, not indoctrinate. And when I'm watching, you can see results behind me, and I'm seeing what's happening in Florida, which is like, yay, my daughter lives in Florida. Lucky, she's the lucky one, But hopefully very soon I'm going to be off to a watch party for a new governor that is going to, on day one, sign the Parental Bill of Rights in Wisconsin. He is going to empower parents, and then we are going to have a governor and a state legislative body that is going to stop woke, and we're going to make some real changes here in Wisconsin. But to the New York Times, I'm sorry that democracy is happening to you, but it is.
So Scarlett,
and it's great.
Let's talk about that for a second. So you started off by saying, you're right. So you ran for school board, correct?
Yes.
Last year,
first we recalled 4 school board members.
Okay, so explain to us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in this, because I know you were very active in your own community before you joined Moms for Liberty. We're super excited that you run the chapter in Ozaukee County, correct?
County, yes, yes.
Ozaukee County, okay, Wisconsin. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, I was just a regular mom. I never thought that I would be what I'm doing now, be where I am today. I was a soccer mom, carpooling kids, mom of 5. And after COVID, with the shutdown, I just started doing a lot of research and then I started emailing like, okay, kids can be back in sports, kids can be back in school. Here's the data. And I'm a political scientist and a researcher. So I would just send, and I would try to organize and get other moms to do that. And I would attend. Sometimes I'd be the only one attending every obscure meeting with the town councils and the school board meetings. When no one would show up, I would be there virtually. Then what happened was we thought in our district that our schools were going to open up, and they didn't. And then it just sort of happened. We put on Facebook, hey, let's have a meeting of parents. 60 parents showed up. We protested. We had the first protest in Mequon. It was huge. We had hundreds of people. We had kids. It was very joyful. We were joyful warriors, fighting for our kids. We did open schools, but it turns out they resembled more, they looked more like they were going off to, juvenile detention centers. It was horrific. When I think about what they did to kids, they shamed them, they isolated them, they kept them away from their friends, they couldn't hug their teachers, they ate lunch facing walls, they ate lunch outside on bitter cold Wisconsin days. Parents, we were treated terribly. I couldn't believe the disdain and the way that they treated us and our kids, and I'll never forget it. And that's why there's no amnesty, there's accountability. And that day of reckoning is coming. People are going to have to answer to what they did to our kids so it never happens again. Something like this will never happen. They're not going to just walk away from this. And Randy Weingart should be ashamed. The fact that they were bringing her out, stumping at the last minute, I mean, that's just the disconnect.
I don't even know.
The disconnect is surreal. It
is. It really is. And I think, I think what is so important, I mean, you ran for school board. I know that wasn't easy. And maybe you'll run again. Maybe you'll run your Moms for Liberty chapter and continue to
Maybe
grow.
I'll run for another office.
Maybe you'll run for another office. Yeah, absolutely. But, talk to us a little bit about running for office, what that experience was like for you. I know there are a lot of people that have just gone through that process that are finding out tonight. And it's a whole family process, isn't it? It's not just you.
Yes.
It's you, your kids. You have to, it's a very, I ran for school board. I served for 4 years. We just have to give a lot of credit to the people that are stepping up and running for office across this country.
It's a very brave thing to do. And yes, your whole family has to be on board. I mean, my husband was up with me at 5 a.m. doing lit drops. We would all have to go to events. I'd have to post their pictures on social media with our family. They had to, put up with a lot, and they had to help a lot. But I will say I would do it again. It was a wonderful experience. I met so many great people. We had such a great organization of moms and dads. We had great meetings. We would come together. We had wine nights to sort of we tried to make things fun. And then we'd have, we sent out our recall notices to 10,000 people in our community. So we would be up till 2 a.m. stamping envelopes and stuffing envelopes. And we just got to know each other, and we had so much fun. And so many of us realized that we weren't alone. And that was what was so wonderful. And I just got to really understand the political process better. And I learned how to create websites and marketing. I learned so much. And all of those skills now I can use to help other candidates that are running for school board. And I've realized, I didn't make it onto the school board. We did successfully recall for school board members, but then the Democrat political machine and the teachers unions, they spent over $250,000 in 6 weeks to destroy and crush us.
And I just want to tell you, you're so incredibly brave. I have someone that I want to add to our stream. If you'll stay on with me for a second. Sure. In my hometown, Jackie Rosario, I'm going to add her now. Here she is at her election party. Jackie,
hi, everyone.
There you go. Hi. Say hello to America. So, Jackie, congratulations.
Jackie.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. This is so
wonderful.
Congratulations. Yes, thank you. 55%, a little bit more than 55%. So, and my opponent was maybe a little bit more than 44%. So we are over the double digits. It's only possible because the voters believe that this woke agenda is just not good for kids. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Let the message be loud and clear to school boards everywhere, all over the nation, and obviously here in Florida. We do not want to indoctrinate children. We want to be able, and the voters have spoken, they all want to be able to just teach reading, writing, arithmetic, science, math, leave the parenting to the parents, not to the government.
I love it. Jackie, I'm so excited. I know you're having fun and you're at your win party. Jackie was endorsed by Governor DeSantis. It's really remarkable to have a governor endorse school board candidates from the top of the Florida ballot down to the bottom of the ballot, right? At that most local level, we have a governor that supports parental rights. So, Jackie, I'm going to let you enjoy your win tonight. So thank you for coming on. I'm really happy for you.
Oh,
congratulations,
so
Jackie.
So thank you. And I want to say I was also endorsed by Moms for Liberty. So it was a wonderful, wonderful endorsement as well. I mean, you all are doing great things. Tiffany, I'm so proud of your leadership there. And locally, the leadership in our local chapter has done phenomenal work, to really help the school board understand what is right and what is wrong, what is legal, understand our statutes and work on COE work groups. So it's just really powerful that we can partner in this way just to ensure that that children are safe and that parents have their rights. So thank you so much.
Bye, Jackie. Have a good night.
Bye, Jackie. So we need to replicate that everywhere. And I know that we can. Each district is different. We can find, you learn and you pass that on, and we're going to replicate what happened in Florida all over the country.
I think you're right, Scarlett, and I'm so thankful for you and your leadership in your own community and moms who are going to save this country. I mean, honestly,
vote like a mom.
Vote like a mom. Vote like a mother is right. So, Scarlett, I hope you have fun at the watch party you're going to. We really appreciate you joining us tonight. And we're going to catch up with you because I know there's a lot of stuff happening in Wisconsin that America needs to know about. It's America's heartland. And there's some stuff happening that, it's going to really break the heart of parents. And we need to make sure we get that information out.
Yes, we do. And but let's enjoy tonight, because I think there's a lot of good news tonight. There's going to be a lot of good news. The message is being sent. And I want to thank you, Tiffany, for your leadership. And thank you, Tina, who's having a blast in Tampa with the greatest governor in the country, America's governor, and his beautiful, lovely wife, who we got to see in Tampa with Moms for Liberty, an amazing organization. I'm so happy to be a part of it. And it's moms. I really do believe that moms who have led the way to the victories that we are going to see tonight. This is hell hath no fury.
That is right. And you know what? There's no truer love than a mother for their child.
Yes.
For her child.
Yes.
And so they mess with the wrong people. So Scarlett, have fun tonight. And we are very appreciative for you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so now we're going to be joined. We're just going to bop around the United States of America. Now we're joined by Brittany Bolden from Union County, North Carolina. Welcome, Brittany. Tell us what's going on in North Carolina tonight.
Hi. Well, I'm at a watch party right now. It's the first watch party I've ever been to. I'm like, what is this? How is this my life? But I'm super excited. It's been a very interesting. I've never been involved ever before. I was literally just a mom sitting on a couch crying that my world was imploding. And it's been interesting. Going through the primary season was interesting. Going through this part of it has been interesting. I've learned so much. I did not know how much I didn't know until doing this. Going into the polls for the first time in my life to vote, going in to vote, and actually knowing what I was voting for and who I was voting for and what they stood for was the most empowering thing I've ever felt in my entire life. And I could kick myself for waiting for something like 2020 to get my rear in gear and to get involved. And I feel like that as moms, we all need to actually, I'm still a little bit frustrated that some people still are lagging behind, not getting involved. And I think as moms, we need to start talking to each other and start educating each other on how we have to get involved. It's no longer something that we just do because, we have time for, or because, it's just something fun that we can. It needs to be an obligation. It needs to be something. It needs to be a duty. It is our duty to go and vote. It is our duty to get involved. And so I'm committed to doing that.
And you're doing such a great job leading. So Brittany, I didn't really introduce her well, did I?
Oh.
Brittany is the chapter chair of our Union County, North Carolina chapter of Moms for Liberty. And she's been an amazing leader and someone, kind of like myself, Brittany. I mean, before I ran for school board, I had voted regularly, but I wasn't politically active. I actually I didn't have any party affiliation because I've never been I'm an issue-based voter. It's never been like a Republican or a Democrat. People always say now about some of these issues we're dealing with, this is a Republican issue. These aren't partisan issues, are they? Like, where are the Democrats on these issues, Brittany? They have parents. They are parents. Don't they realize the threat that their parental rights are under when we have this type of stuff happening across the country?
So what's been interesting for me is that I'm actually an independent. I've always wanted to be an independent. I may eventually have to change, but I am like you. I'm an issues person. But what I found to be very interesting is that I talked to so many people that were going to vote Democrat, but the minute I started talking to them about the issues, we agreed. I said, the candidate that I was pulling for, that I worked the hardest for, she really wants to see things like cursive back in school and textbooks. Technology is great. It really is. That said, it needs to be balanced. We need to still have textbooks. We need to not just throw everything old out the window because this new shiny thing has come on the scene. And every time I mentioned that to voters, regardless of how they were planning to vote, everyone's face lit up. Everyone agreed. I can't tell you. I mean, I did not have a single person say back to me, no, we don't need cursive. Every single person was like, why aren't we doing that? Yeah. And I'm like, exactly. Why aren't we doing that? So, I find that when we're out in the world and we're talking as parents and as moms and as dads, we are actually more united than we are divided in real life,
Yeah. I agree with that. And I think that, for a long time, it was unpopular or it felt funny to talk about politics or to talk about government at the playground, right? There was this idea of we don't talk about these things, or, Tiffany, she's like a political person. So we don't, we don't want to get involved in politics. But the truth of the matter is, you were at this summit in July, and when Allie Beth Stuckey spoke, and she said that politics matter because policies matter because people matter, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, what does that mean to you when I say politics matter because policies matter because people matter? Explain that for people. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think, didn't we all learn this lesson when our schools were shut down, when our lives were shut down? Those were policies. And it all of a sudden, everyone got a civics lesson on why local elections matter, right? We all were like, oh my goodness, because previously everyone would get excited about elections when it was presidential elections. I never knew anything past the president, right? That I would always go in and vote for president and see. And 2020 showed us that all of those other names actually matter more, I would say, than president. Because those are the policies. Those are the people that are passing the policies that are affecting me, that are affecting you, that are affecting our children.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right. So I just want to say, I know we've had some great wins. We just had Jean Trent in Brevard County, Florida, win for school board. That's awesome. Brevard County has a conservative school board now. Moms for Liberty won 2 of the 3 seats that they endorsed in Indian River County. So nice to see the Florida results rolling in. Brittany, tell us about North Carolina a little bit. What's the political climate been like? What do you expect as far as results? What do you expect to know tonight?
So we have, it looks like Dan Bishop is going to win for the House of Representatives. He seems to have a pretty clear lead. Ted Budd is going against Cherry Beasley. Ted Budd was endorsed by Trump, and we're watching that one. That one's going to be a tough one. As far as on the school board, in Union County, in our county, we have a very red county. We do have one district that is a blue stronghold, and we have a candidate who actually, the school board member that sits in that seat now, he voted consistently to mask our children, and we somehow got leaked out that he's a pastor, and he was pastoring this church where he let all of them have a choice about mask, and he was not wearing a mask while he was voting consistently to mask our children. And so she went to the very next school board meeting and said, look, this is not okay. And she called him out, and then she said, I'm going to challenge you. And so this is a fun one. This is the one that I've worked really hard for, and we'll see. I don't know. It's going to be tough because it has not, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a very long time since someone, a Republican, has taken that seat.
Well,
but we'll
Brittany,
see.
No, and I think you're doing such a great job in Union County. I know all of our moms in North Carolina are really working to build relationships. The last question I want to ask you is, we talk a lot about being a joyful warrior, and I feel like that means a little bit of something different for everyone in our organization. What does it mean to you, especially on election night, right? What does it mean to you to be a joyful warrior with Moms for Liberty?
So this has been really hard. I'm not going to lie. I expected the enemy fire. I did not expect the infighting within the friendly fire, if you will. And what being a joyful warrior for me is making the decision, okay? Because feelings aren't always going to be the best indicator, but making the decision to not hate, to not be nasty, to always have a smile on my face, always try to assume the best out of people, and just don't choose not to be hateful. You know, I had several people at the polls say some not so nice things to me, and you know what? I don't know what's going on in their life, so I just smiled and I said, hey, you have a good day. Thank you so much for voting.
Always says a lot more about them than it does about us, doesn't it?
It does. And I always, in the back of my head, have a little game playing where I want to turn them. Like, I'm going to make them smile.
Yeah.
You know what I
Create
mean?
space for them to change their minds. Absolutely. And I know that's what you guys are doing every day. So Brittany, thank you so much for joining us. I'll let you get back to your fun party. Let us know, make sure you're reporting in to the Moms for Liberty endorsement line when how your people are doing in the polls. We want to be able to report out and let everybody know, because 270 candidates supported. You know, somebody said, wow, you guys put out 270 candidates. Aren't you worried that maybe you won't have the results that you want? And I really felt like, you know what? What an accomplishment to get 270 endorsements, right? Or over 500. So we feel good. It's good night. It's a good night for moms and dads across America.
Absolutely. And hey, be sure, I saw that that Lady Killer is going to be coming on next. Yes. So
Wait, I'm going to add him now. We can say hello. You can say hi to Lady Killer. There he is.
Hi, Lady Killer. I'm
Hey.
here with one of your favorites, Dan Bishop, tonight. I haven't seen him yet, but I did tell him the other day that the nice things that you said about him.
Yeah, he is one of my favorites. So
Yeah.
say hi if you can.
I will do it. All
All
right.
right, Brittany, have fun. James and I, Lady Killer and I are going to talk for a little
Yeah,
bit.
y'all behave.
Hello, Dr. Lindsay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm in Iowa.
You're in. What are you doing in Iowa?
I'm speaking at Iowa State tomorrow.
Okay. And Frank McCormick is speaking there as well with you. Is he joining you there?
No, that was in North Dakota the day before yesterday.
I'm so sorry. I can't even keep track of where you are in the
Oh, I
United
know. I'm everywhere. But I met your North Dakota moms, and they are a wonderful group.
Tell me a little bit about that. What's happening in North Dakota right now?
You know, it's really kind of shocking. Their attitude, unfortunately, like every red state is, oh, it couldn't be happening here. It couldn't be happening in North Dakota. And it's North Dakota, by the way, is pretty rural. It's not just conservative. There's nobody there. And everything's really small, and they are confronting the same problems everybody else is. You go to the libraries, the books are in the libraries. You try to get the books out of the libraries, they throw a giant fit. You try to bring it to the media. Even the media in North Dakota won't run the story. They said that one of the school districts there, just a small school district, of course, they're all small, is they came back to school this year, and they had posters all over the walls about how the school was dedicated to achieving the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And they got called out on it, and they changed it to some 12, school community goals that are word for word 12 of the goals from the UN. So it's the exact same tricks, the exact same nonsense, all the way through, whether it's the media, whether it's the schools, whether it's the libraries. But it's mostly those entities bringing it in, the media, the schools, and the libraries.
So these generative themes that you talk about often, right? The things that we're seeing that happen in district after district after district that the woke ideologues push into the schools, are pushing into our society. I know you said, and I've quoted you many times now, Andrew Breitbart said politics is downstream from culture. And you said in one of your podcasts recently that culture is downstream from education. So for those people that are joining us right now, we have a real passion at Moms for Liberty for reclaiming public education, reclaiming our higher ed institutions, because we do feel that they've been stolen from us. Can you give us a little overview of how important public education is, the capture of public education, and how it has changed our society? I know that's a big question for a couple minutes, but.
No, I mean, it's the biggest issue. I'm almost convinced it's even bigger. It's right up there, tied with the weird stuff they're doing with the economy. I mean, it's as big of an issue as there can be. And even if we sort out all the economic stuff, if we don't sort out education, we're just set up to face this again in 5 years. Another, crazy summer of 2020 all over again, another disaster of putting bad politicians in again and again that bring these new things in. So it's a top issue. It's funny, I'm in Iowa and going to speak at Iowa State. Actually, there's a book that was published here called The Critical Turn in Education that I talk about a lot, that actually was kind of my Rosetta Stone that showed me what they did to take over education. And it started in the 70s, very deliberately trying to take it over. Then by 1992, they chronicle that the Paulo Freire, the generative method that steals education, had arrived, as he says in the book, it had arrived where it is today, everywhere. And so they transformed education to where the idea is to use subjects, math, word problems, history, 1619 project, doesn't matter, reading, the vocabulary list, it doesn't matter. In order to get the kids to talk about political topics, then they divert the entire class into a political discussion instead, under the auspices of social and emotional learning or equity lenses or sustainability lenses or whatever. So it's a key issue to understand and then to take control of our schools so we can get this kind of very tricky, underhanded means of transforming education out.
And I just want to say thank you to you. I know you've traveled around the country speaking to moms. You've come to several Moms for Liberty meetings, and you always spend a lot of time talking to moms. Are you ever not shocked? Or are you ever shocked anymore, I guess? I mean, you hear some of the stories of the things that are being taught in the schools, and it seems outrageous, doesn't it? So far from the education that, we really received when we were in school. What's your feeling been as far as, the way that the moms have been impacted, the way that the families have been impacted by these things? And then, I know because you see so much, are you optimistic? Where do you think we go from here tonight? What does tonight mean for the future of America?
Well, I mean, it's impacting families more than anything. I hear moms talk, and if it's not their family, it's a family of somebody close to them that's always getting torn apart by what they're doing to our kids. Our kids are not all right, and a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it's coming out of the schools. The schools are making our kids not all right. And if you're a mom, it might be your kid or it might be your friend's kid. It's somebody close to your family. You know somebody who's been messed up by this stuff. But I'm optimistic. I think the schools will take a long time. I think the big bulldozer work is in the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years. It's 10 years to fix these things. But the reason I'm optimistic, and I don't mean to sound, flattering or whatever, is because of the moms. They're my favorite people to meet in every state. This is the 42nd state. Iowa is my first time here. 42nd state I visited since I started this adventure. And it's the moms in every state that I see. They're focused, they're ready, they're eager, they care, and they're making a huge difference. So I think that looking at this election, you said it's the year of the parent, and the parent is showing it in this election. I'm so far optimistic about what's happening, or at least, a little more comfortable than I was this morning anyway. So I think that's a lot down to you and your moms.
Oh, thank you, James. I think you're right. I think the moms and dads are very motivated across the country. So you have talked a little bit about You've talked a lot about Marxism and communism. If you don't listen to James's podcast at New Discourses, you need to go find new courses. James, where should they start? If you're a parent, you're listening to this, you want to learn a little bit more. Do they dive into the Groomer School series? Do they start with any bullets? Do you have a podcast for them to start with?
Yeah, if I were them, I would look up the New Discourses bullets and then look for the ones that are about education, whether it's social emotional learning or critical pedagogy or Paulo Freire and what it means to be Freirean. Look for ones that are kind of what does it mean to be this or what does it mean to be that, and start to get your legs. Groomer Schools is absolutely must listen, I guess. I don't know, as well, because it lays out why this is actually happening and gives you very concrete examples of the things that they're talking about in their own words. So the Groomer School series all told is about 7.5 hours for the 4 episodes. I'm planning a 5th. But I think that's a place that you need to work your way towards. Start with the bullets. They're short, they get you a taste, and they get kind of to the point a little bit better.
I think that's great. And you have a new book, I know, that's going to be coming out where you talk about the fact that our children are being taught to be politically literate, not functionally literate. And so any highlights from that you want to share with us? Because I know our moms are going to be very anxious to do some more reading, and as you break down critical pedagogy and how it has changed American education.
Yeah, the book is called The Marxification of Education, and it's due out on December 6th. And so it's coming very soon, about a month from now, or just under a month. And, the real key is to understand what this Paulo Freire method, this pedagogy of the oppressed, has done to transform education. And in fact, to make it so that education could be stolen. I think that's the key lesson of the book, is that education's been stolen by this Marxification process. And I break down in a couple of chapters exactly how that happens. If you can't see it, you can't take it to the school and stop it, or you can't intervene in your kid's curriculum and stop it. And so that was what I wanted to bring to the table, that they're doing this trick where they, use a keyword or the presence of a drag queen or whatever to substitute out a math lesson or a reading lesson or a history lesson and turn it into a political lesson as the real point of education, which of course for them means a Marxist programming lesson. And I need parents to understand that this is a very sophisticated method of brainwashing that they're doing to our children. And it's very subtle, and it requires learning something about it to know how to see it and stop it.
So I served on school board. It was really interesting after Marjory Stoneman Douglas, the shooting in Parkland, where 17 people lost their lives. We had an influx of, first of all, we had the legislative session was going on. And so that was interesting, right? Because there was some policy making that happened on the fly. The governor and a commission that was put together gave some input, but there was a huge influx of money into mental health. Just quickly, we have like 5 more minutes, James. I just want to kind of touch on some of the issues that parents should be looking for. Social emotional learning. One of the things that we have heard from teachers time and time again as they are looking to leave the teaching profession is we have a real issue with discipline in our schools. And we have that same issue in our cities right now. Can you talk a little bit about the progressive policies that are bringing Americans to deal with the crime that they're dealing with across the country and in the schools across America?
Yeah, I mean, the two primary things that are leading to this kind of crime wave, discipline wave, problem in schools. And I think, of course, I would direct people toward Max Eden's work on restorative justice, to name one of the two. The other one being the inclusive classroom. So the inclusive classroom, and of course, it's already restorative and inclusive. It already sounds like woke buzzwords, and it is. But the inclusive classroom is bringing people there. It's including people back into the classroom, whether they are, mentally disabled, or whether they are psychopaths, or whether they're problem child, repeat offenders. The goal is to bring them back into the classroom and try to mainstream them and integrate them into the standard classroom as much as possible, where in many cases with special education needs that is beneficial. In many other cases, it's inappropriate. And in cases where you actually have a dangerous, child, it's not good at all. And there's no discernment between circumstances. The goal is just to include as many people in the mainstream classroom as much as possible. This gets compounded by the restorative justice program, where instead of doing justice through discipline or through retribution or whatever other models, punitive justice, they instead, basically, if I disrupted the class or assaulted a student or whatever, we'd sit down in a talk circle and talk about why I did it. And the person that I offended or assaulted or transgressed against them, they're supposed to try to understand my feelings, and I'm supposed to understand their feelings. And we're all supposed to heal together and restore the classroom to a healthy space, which is something that you might do in a family situation or close, effective networks like families or close friendships or something like that. But it's not appropriate when you have somebody who's being a criminal transgressor or a repeat offender, or in fact, when you're dealing often with just teenagers who skew toward the jerk. And on average, it's not always the appropriate method for dealing with it. When you combine those two policies, you just have a disaster. And then when you mix in that the way that they're going to then deal with that is by incorporating it into the social emotional learning paradigm. Oh, Johnny was causing all these problems because his parents are fill in the blank, oppressed, and therefore oppression shaped his worldview. That's called structural determinism. Let's all understand how structural forces actually led to these conditions, and let's, heal together that way, become more socially aware as a result of this. The social emotional learning paradigm is geared toward using social and emotional cues as generative methods to bring up the equity frame specifically as the right answer to social and emotional questions, or the right way to understand things, a structural way of understanding things. In other words, the Marxist way of understanding things. It's the vehicle that they're using to bring in, whether it's critical race theory, gender theory, restorative justice practices, or whatever else. And all these things fit hand in glove. The short version of all of this, though, with those three things to keep an eye for, is that the folks that are putting this into play, whether by intention or whether by naivety, don't have a functional working model of how things like crime or misbehavior or truancy, or even just learning how they actually work. They operate off of a social constructionist model that's not a model that describes reality very well. They don't understand what makes, hierarchy and authority legitimate. So you end up with this democratized classroom, they call it, where nobody's has a power over anybody else. And it doesn't work. They just don't have a working model of how reality plays out with people. And so it backfires every time.
It fails every time, and it makes for really unsafe schools in a time when everybody just wants to talk about safe schools and safety. So James, I just want to thank you, because you have done so much work to inform and educate our moms. And our mission is unify, educate, and empower parents. And we bring parents together under Moms for Liberty, but then we all become educated together on these issues. And you have been so instrumental in helping us to do that. So we are incredibly thankful for you. And so from James, now my friend, who can be a little pessimistic sometimes, I know you get to see all the bad stuff and you get to read all the bad stuff. Are you feeling optimistic tonight? Are you feeling the mom? We have scrolling on the screen all these parental rights candidates that are winning. What does it look like for parents to take back school boards across America?
I mean, it's just absolutely thrilling to see this. I will admit that I was quite pessimistic this morning, and we'll see what happens at 3 a.m. with certain, bigger races. But at least for these local level races, it looks like the things are looking extraordinarily good. And of course, Florida is looking extraordinarily good right now as a state in general. So congratulations for you in Florida. So it is, a hopeful and cheerful moment. There's been a lot of work that's gone into over the last few years to come to this night in some sense, but also to the future that it offers us. And so again, I'm more encouraged than ever. And even if something funny does come up, the moms in this country, every state I go, this is, like I said, number 42. I haven't met any Iowa moms yet, but I'm sure I will. It's just an inspiration.
So, James, you have said before that there are two things that stop communism. I think you said a dictatorship and a parent revolution. And I might be paraphrasing that. So tell us, what is but just to end this, I do think we're seeing a parent revolution. What does it, when you say a parent revolution, I know you've spoken about it in Hungary, and I'm not going to try to quote the date, the year, but in inspiring and engaging this generation of voters in a country means real change, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. Parents' revolution means that the parents step in. Parents don't want dangerous or crazy or even reactionary solutions. They want safe, healthy communities to raise their children in. They want healthy networks in which their kids can grow up and feel safe and really come to flourish. So they don't tend to have these crazy solutions that you see kind of at a young philosopher types or wild revolutionaries. And so this is the healthiest way out. Parents are very, parents have, as I think you said at the summit, have been through some stuff and are on another level. And they don't, it's just the right way to do it. And so I'm very, very encouraged to see so many moms, especially, and dads with them stepping up and taking school board seats, taking county commission seats, taking responsibility. And also this new renewed focus on nourishing and caring about the family. Family dinners are coming back. It's less like, here's your food, go to your room, watch your iPad. I'm going to go on the couch with dad and watch TV. Like, families are coming back together and people are realizing the value of that. And that's centered in the moms really too, as kind of the center in the heart of the house.
What a cool thing to have a front row seat, right? And you, again, as I've said, have been instrumental in that. So James, I hope you have a wonderful time in Iowa. Speaking at Iowa State University, please tell the moms and dads there we say hello, and we're thankful for you, James Lindsay.
Well, I'm thankful for you, Tiffany, and also moms across America. So thank you.
Awesome. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye. So soon we're going to be joined by Tara Wood from South Carolina. I'm super excited to hear from her. Great things happening out of South Carolina. Tim Scott won tonight, I saw. They've had some other candidates win. Just kind of go over a little bit some of the wins we've seen so far. Some Florida wins happening. Those are coming in. We're going to have reporting happening from other school board races around the country. For those of you that, I know a lot of you know, but I'll just mention again, Tina and I served on school board, and we're the founders of co-founders of Moms for Liberty. And we know what it means. We know what school board means, and we know how important those decisions are. And we were serving on school board during COVID. And we got to see very directly what it meant for elected officials to ignore parents. Justin Hart, Team Reality, posted a tweet that I had put up in May of 2021. And it was a notice from a school that was saying that the kids could get a mask break. They had earned a mask break. And he said, don't forget that they rewarded your children with like fresh oxygen. That was a reward for the children, that they got to breathe freely. And so I think parents went to the ballot box today, very clear in their minds and in their hearts that they were voting for their kids. And they were voting to make sure that there were going to be better decisions being made at the school board level for kids and families. So just waiting now. I don't know if Marie Rogerson wants to join us a little bit to talk a little bit about some of the races that are happening. I see we have some new win alerts. Dawn Peters in Pinellas County, Florida, another win. So Moms for Liberty had endorsed in 63 races in Florida, I believe, and 67 actually, and 43 of those won, with about 12 or 13 going on to the ballot tonight. And we're seeing great wins for those endorsed candidates. And quickly, just to make mention for those of you that don't know, we had our governor decided to endorse in school board races. That doesn't happen a lot. that you have a governor decide he's going to get involved in a local race and endorse in school board races. But the governor's office did. Governor DeSantis' team, Governor DeSantis decided that he wanted to support school board races and school board members. And we're really excited about that. So one of the things that we saw him do was stand with parents and support parental rights. We have a Parents' Bill of Rights here in Florida. It's very exciting. In 15 other states, there are Parents' Bill of Rights, actually 14 other. There are 15 states that recognize fundamental parental rights. And again, fundamental parental rights means that you, as the parent, have the right to direct the upbringing of your child. And the government doesn't give you that right, and they can't take it away. And that's the right to direct the education and the upbringing of your child. We hope at Moms for Liberty to have a Parents' Bill of Rights in every state, so that every parent is recognized to have that fundamental right. There were some important things that were brought, that have been put on ballots across the country that parents need to be aware of. And I'm going to take it a minute now that I have time to share that with you. We're waiting to see if Proposal 3 on Michigan's ballot goes through. Proposal 3 was a really, really dangerous bill, dangerous proposal that went against parental rights. And it basically said that every individual, they could have said adults, they didn't. They said every individual has the right to do a number of things, including sterilization and abortion. And so just a direct strike at parental rights, this proposal goes into the Michigan Constitution. It supersedes all other parental rights that would be in the state or the federal government. This is super concerning for Michigan families and for every American in the United States of America. There I see, so blessed to be one of the first chapters in the county. Go Indian River County, Florida, winning 2 out of 3 seats tonight. Super exciting. The other bill that I wanted to talk about that has been signed into law in California already, but is important for people to know, is Senate Bill 107 in California. And this was a bill, I call it the Pied Piper bill, because basically what it said was that if you're a kid, you can go to California, and the state of California will help you to undergo gender transition and without your parents' consent or knowledge. So super concerning things that are happening across the country, but we have moms and dads that are fighting back every step of the way. We're thankful for James and that kind of deep dive into the harder things side of things, but we want to celebrate too tonight. We're going to add Tara Wood to our stream, and I'm going to let Tara introduce herself. Hold on one second. Hey Tara, how you doing?
Hey Tiffany, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yep, I sure can.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because there's such a delay, but so I'm at a watch party with for some of the school board candidates, but also another, like a gentleman that we love, and he just won his race for state house. But it's looking good for our candidates. We have 8 candidates out of the 9 districts. Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about your chapter. I want to know where do you live? What's your chapter membership like? What's your advocacy been like in South Carolina? Tell me about you.
Okay, I'm Tara Wood, chapter chair of Charleston County Moms for Liberty, and we started about 15 months ago. And currently, we have almost 300 active members that have joined, and we have over 1,000 members, on our Facebook page. And we're very involved in our community. Our members are, I don't know, we have very well attended meetings. We usually have maybe 125 to 150 average that attend our monthly meetings. Yeah, but we have fun events too. We even do happy hour. We have fundraising events, and we just had a big event on the USS Yorktown last month with Dr. James Lindsay. It was amazing. Yes.
So how do you think
we're fighting hard?
How do you think having a Moms for Liberty chapter in Charleston has changed your ability to advocate or come together? Because I'm hearing from a lot of people, you needed to have somewhere to gather like-minded people to make change happen. So tell us, what has it been like for you?
Well, I think it's important to educate people so that you can mobilize them to take action. And so we've had a lot of really good results from, like I said, from having a good turnout at our meetings. We get a lot of people involved even with just writing to our legislators, because we have a writing committee, and it's actually very active. They meet every week, so that's helped a lot. And of course, we show up at the school board meetings every month. We're always there. We always have, I would say, at least 3 people at every school board meeting. So that's helped us a lot with keeping up, with the details of what's happening with our school boards and in our schools. So I think it's amazing. People are listening. I think legislators, they pick up the phone, they call us, they actually reach out to us on issues, which is good. It's been very effective with me.
So give us a just a kind of a picture of South Carolina tonight. Who's winning? Who's losing? Who do you hope?
Okay.
Feel about? Give us the scoop.
Okay. It's definitely a little early to tell. I mean, because we're watching the numbers, but I do think we have a strong 4 to 5 candidates for sure out of the 8. And it's really important to us that we win 5, because all 9 seats are up. This is historical, this election. It's absolutely amazing that we have an opportunity to win back our school board just this year. And so I think it's looking really good that we're going to win the majority. It's amazing. This is amazing. And because right now, the current school, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so the current school board is 8 liberals for 1 conservative right now. So what I'm telling you is we flipped this board. I mean, it's a miracle. It's amazing, actually. So, I got to tell you this. So they changed the laws on Thursday. So we were allowed to go to the polls and talk to people in line, as long as we didn't hand out anything and we didn't have on a shirt, we couldn't promote a candidate. So that's why my voice is hoarse. I spent all day long, going to different polls. I went to 3 different polls today, and I talked to people over and over and over. And so many people had their Moms for Liberty list to vote for. It was awesome. I know. They're like, oh, no, I know who to vote for. And because they didn't know who I was, right? And so I would get them to talk. And then some people pulled out their Moms for Liberty marketing materials that we made. We made thousands and thousands of these postcards. So it's grassroots, right? Grassroots. It's working.
Yeah, I'm so incredibly excited for you. So you have 8 candidates up for school board. You're hoping to endorse. Is that right?
You broke up. Say that again. I'm hoping for what? Say that again.
You have endorsed candidates for school board.
Yeah, we have 8 out of the 9 districts. I don't know exactly what you just said, but we have 8 candidates endorsed, and I think it's looking good. Well, it's looking really good for at least half of them, but I'm hoping that we get 5. We need the majority.
I'm super excited for you. I'm very excited for Moms for the Run.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much. If you and Tiffany did not start Moms for Liberty, we would not be where we are today. There is no way that Charleston County would be as aware of what's going on in the schools and the school board, and where we are hopefully we're going to win back our school board, this year, if it wasn't for Moms for Liberty. That I know for a fact. I am positive.
I don't know what to tell you. And we would not be, honestly, it's teamwork. I think it's just teamwork. All of us are all moms. We all know what's at stake right now, and we're working together. So, Tara, I think this is an awesome place to kind of close tonight. I'm so excited to see the wins in South Carolina. So thankful for you and the other moms around the country. We love you.
I am too. Thank you.
We love being moms, right? So I'm so glad everybody voted like a mom. Vote like a mother.
Vote like a mom. We love you too. Yes, and I hope everybody flips their school board. Yes, let's do it. We can do this.
Awesome. Have a good night, Tara. Have fun.
Thank you.
So you got a little bit of a peek across the country at what's happening with moms and dads and school boards and this election, this historic midterm election that we're so blessed and lucky to be a part of. Who knew we were going to make so many new friends in our 40s? That's what I always think to myself. I had no idea. If what you saw tonight, that you're inspired, if you want to join us, if you're not a member, go to momsforliberty.org. You can check out our website, click on the map, click on your state, see if we have a chapter in your county. If we don't, click to start one. You need 10 like-minded friends that are, or 10 like-minded people in your community that want to help to make change happen, because you can't do any of this alone. We all know that. And we'll help you get started. And it's just a great group to be a part of. And I'm incredibly honored to stand with all of the moms and dads across this country as we reclaim public education and we work to fight for the survival of America. So with that, it's 9 o'clock. I'm going to let everybody get back to their election parties. I've interrupted enough people in their celebration. Get back to watching those election results and check in with the Moms for Liberty social. We're on Twitter at moms4liberty, on Facebook, on Instagram. Follow us to get updates about everything happening in education and with parental rights across America, and to get the final results, see how many of our 270 endorsed candidates actually make it to office and get to start making the change we need to see across America. As always, we are joyful warriors fighting like heck. I'll say that for Tina. Normally I say fighting like hell, fighting like heck for our country and our families. With a smile on our faces. Have a great night, and God bless America. Talk with you all soon.